Haven't seen this game, just like me, you have missed out on one of the biggest gems in the genre of diorama building. We are looking at outside the blocks, and obviously this game is building a diorama, as you can see. And we are doing just that, a little bit today at least. It's gonna be the beginning. I'm going to do a full build with a time-lapse very soon, but I couldn't hold back to showcase this wonderful game to you and show you all the possibilities you have in the game to enable you doing that the same. I actually purchased the game myself this time around, even though the creator of the game has reached out to me a month ago, but I wasn't able to produce a video. I'd just been all so stressful. Anyways, we are going to start with a brand new build, and I'm going to explain alongside the way what this is all about. So it is yet another diorama builder. Yes, I know there's been a couple of those in and we've tested a lot of these on the channel, but this one specifically is a very elaborate kind of toolbox, if you will, and you can do virtually anything. You can really build the most crazy thing you can imagine. You got that workspace in front of you, and then you can even change every single bit in here. We are doing a couple of things, but we are starting with the basics. So you can change the size, as you can see. You can make it flat, tiny, almost like an aquarium kind of size, or this size, you know, zooming out a little gives you a bit of an idea what you can do. Look at all these things. I'm actually willing to do something more interesting that I haven't seen really being done. I think I know why. There are a couple of tools missing for that, I think. But we're going to go with, I feel like that would be a fun challenge over here. So we're going to use this challenge over here, and then we can also change the base style of the diorama kind of thingy. So as you can see, different type of base things. I think I want to go with this roundish one, and then you can also change the color of that one. So pretty basic stuff, you know, nothing in, to be honest, too interesting over here. I guess, oh gosh, look at all the different colors. You can even go into some different materials, as you can see. Cabinet base color. Doesn't really have a name. Anyways, I'm going to go for that marble kind of thing over here. And then on the right hand side, you've already seen we can do a couple of different glass variants. And once you click on that, you can even adjust the height of the glass. But actually, I'm willing to not have any glass at the beginning. It's kind of annoying while building. So that's just about the diorama itself. And then you've got a whole bunch of different modes. You can change the weather, which is pretty cool. You can go for rain. You can even go for snow. You can change the amount of snow on the ground or in the sky, you know, how much is falling down. So that's pretty cool as well. You can then also change, what's that actually again? The fog intensity if you want to, and the wind strength as well, which actually the diorama will react to that. So you can make your cozy kind of things. But we are actually doing the opposite. We are trying to build something completely different today, because, you know, I want to put myself on a little challenge, because you can also put water down. So if you put water down, you can just raise the water level, and we're starting with some generic water, and then you can see you can change the water color to virtually any color you wish. Well, actually not any, but there's a lot of different colors, a lot of different also you know, clarities, if you will. So to make the water more clear or less clear. This is kind of an ocean, as you can see over here. Looks really like an ocean. I'm willing to go a bit more with a more crystal Caribbean vibe over here. So lagoon is what we are going to go for. I'm going to raise that a little. So that's what we're going to do. You can create intensities of waves, as you can see over here. It's really like go down and up. I think it just really changes a little bit of the wave noise, and you can also change the color. But we are going to see that a bit better in a second. So that's what you do with the water, but then you can also have the different type of ground colors, as you can see over here. There's like a whole bunch of things. I think I'm gonna go for what looks the most like that. This is kind of seaside, but I'm not sure if I want to go with seaside because, well, wetland looks almost better. I'm just gonna go for wetland for the moment being, you know. And then there's also the sculpting, where you can sculpt a little more precise. So you can raise the terrain out of the water, if you will. So there you have that. It's pretty similar to how the Planet games work, by the way. So you got that little bit of ocean, not ocean, but land sculpted up, and then you can even, you know, flatten that out, if you will. So just gonna do the exact same thing as I would do with the Planko as well. Just gonna make sure that there is like this kind of island on this hand side over here, you know, just filling that all in. Just, is that from the level? Are we still, oh yes, just above water level. Let's just keep that a little higher, and then flatten this to this height. Look, there's also a bit more greenery now going on, and you know, obviously you can also change this kind of texture, if you will. So there's a bit like this, you know. Just gonna keep this a little bit more interesting looking, and then there's like a whole bunch of other stuff, you know. You can smooth that out to create like a bit more of a beach if you want to. So just flatten a couple of layers over here could help to create a bit more of an interesting looking beach, and then you can just flatten that out, and it just looks so much like a beach, you know. It just gets that shallow kind of beach effect in. And what we could obviously do is like put a little island here in the center. You know, just like a tiny little island here, and then flatten the corners. And you can also, what's kind of cool is you can also, let's change that a little, and then make that island a tiny bit bigger. You can obviously also change the brush size if you will. So if you want to just smooth that all out, so you can do that this way, no problem at all. Or if you want to be more precise with your controls, you can obviously do this as well. Just gonna move that up a little to get that little island in as I wished to do it. So there you go, with that little bit in the middle here, and then we can also just change the height here, ever so subtle, just to give it a more interesting look to it, you know. Very nice indeed. So we have that little interesting diorama, and then you can have like all kind of different terrain modes to just make it look so much more interesting. Over here, this is a general terrain generator. So if you click on that, basically what it does is create like a different type of diorama for you immediately. That looks also very interesting. But you can also, whoops, I thought, oh no, this is not, oh my god, no. I thought you can also undo this. But apparently you cannot undo the change of the ground. Oh my god, no, our little island is just gone. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, look at that. This almost looks like what we wanted to go for. You know, I think this is a, oh wait, hold on. It creates it a couple of times, right? So we're almost good to go with this one. You know, we're just gonna edit this one to what I was trying to get it to. Oh my god. I didn't know that this was happening. I thought I thought this would also work with the undo button. Ah, well then. I mean, we can just use the controls as we wish to. So that's fine. It still looks good. It still does what I wanted to, so whatever. So just smooths out the island a little. We're almost back where we were. And then you can also paint kind of things, you know. You can just paint different type of terrain styles over here, which is also kind of cool. So you can see this is the terrain paint tool gravel. This is the soil. Here you can put soil down if you want to make this beachy. It's soil. Then you've got paint tool, and then you've got terrain paint. Short foliage, which is a bit more that one, and long foliage is this over here. However, I want to cover this all in short foliage, maybe a bit long foliage here on top of it. And again, you can change the size and the intensity of these things. And then on the beach, we are going to have a bit of this, you know, and then we can merge that with a bit of short stuff over here. So something like this should be fine, and same goes over here. So that is kind of what I was going for. I feel like this is already pretty much what I wanted to show you with this one. You can also raise the terrain in total or get it lower. If you want to do this, you can obviously raise the water level, as you've seen. Now going to the next one, this is again material, so you can click through your different materials if you figure again you want to change this and find something that suits your needs better. Now, this one over here could actually be even seaside, could be more suitable for what I wanted to do. Actually, you know what, let's keep that with seaside, I think. And then you can basically start building if you wanted to. So there's a couple of cool things. You can work with some lower supports, which is something I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to get rid of the degrees because I want to make this a bit more interesting. And then I'm going to lower this a little bit like here. So that's that. And you can obviously edit the sizes as well. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger over here. So that's our base, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can also cut this if you want to on different spaces to make this look a bit more nicer here, as you can see. And then if you go to edit, unfortunately you cannot really just edit this one. It would be fun if you could just like put this little specific thing out. At least I haven't figured exactly how that works, but you can change the different styles. You can make that roundish or like this, or you can even get this invisible if you want to. So if you kind of want to create like an open side, for example, you can do this. There's also balcony railing that we can put on top, you know, which is what I'm willing to do. So I'm going to plop that on top. However, as you can tell, there is like a platform missing. So I'm going to delete this first, and here you can see the jetting is what I need to put in between. So actually the little overhang here, I don't even mind too much. I wonder if... Okay, well, actually, this is better. This is better than the jetting. So let's just plop the balcony floor on top of it. And then we can move this horizontally only. There you have it. And then we're just going to increase the size here to both sides. There you have it. And then we can also change the style of it, you know. So if we go into edit, and then you can change basically the style. Actually, hold on, this is just the wooden... Oh wait, no, the style was in a completely different tab, by the way. There is like a material tab, material workspace. Here you got it. And we can create a new material, which is specifically for the floor. We can create a wooden one, and then we just paint that wooden, as you can see. Oh, it doesn't even... It's not even slotted perfectly on the top, as I can see over here. I'm wondering if this is also... Wondering what is the kind of framework. Oh, there you have it. The framework is that. Okay, so let's see if we can get a bit more of a darker vibe. I think this is fine, you know, and then let's go back to the edit mode, and then we're going to move this thing horizontally, as you can see. Ooh, I think what we got to do is we're going to take that off and that off as well, and then I can move this completely free. There we have it. Awesome. So if I want to have this overhang a little, I'm just going to do this way. And then I'm going to say move again freely. So I have like a little bit of overhang here. There you have it. I think I will need to build, like as I said, I'm not going to build the full thing today, but or actually I will potentially create like another diorama, but I'm going to show you a couple of things that I had in mind to do. So yeah, this is the main kind of building, and then now we can put this kind of thing on, and this is where the invisible side comes into play. So if we check this one out and we go in and we say edit mode, and then oops, edit mode here, and then we say invisible. Wait, hold on, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, wait, hold on, wait, that's actually a pretty good idea. We can make this one invisible too. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, but I wanted to do this one. So edit mode, go in this one. That one is going to be invisible. So we're going to make this longer here. And now we can actually enlarge that here too. Or to which side of ever you want. But this is where the entrance shall be. So this is that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this thing. And we're going to... Wait, there was a way to rotate this. Yeah, on R. You can rotate things on R. And then let's move this perfectly fine in here. And I'm just going to move that up a little. And now let me just move this vertically. So we have this perfectly fine here. I don't mind, because we will actually change the length of that. So here we go. Edit this side to invisible, and then we are already good to go. So this is like where the entrance sits of our little cozy home area. I'm not even sure if there's more to that. There's like decorations and stuff, but we're going to build like the home base. It's gonna be in here, and we can obviously edit that and make like the sides longer or whatever. I don't really see that I have the height. Can I change the height somehow? There was a way to change the height. Like, yeah, I mean I can lower it down, but okay, wait, there's like a lower wall, half wall. But I think this is still like a fine wall. It's not too much of an issue. And now as for the materials, but I'm going to just use the floor and copy the floor, and I'm going to move the floor up on that one. And then apparently what we got to do is change the size of it. It's like so, should be fine. And then we're gonna do the move again, and we're gonna move this in as a roof. So it's kind of like a little beach check what we're doing over here. And so as for the materials, you can see there is like really, as it's looking kind of nice. You can split that into different sections if you want to. So that's what it is. And then you get kind of different styles you can go for. So you even go for like doors maybe, or like there's a window and there's like a door, you know, we can have like a little shabby door here, and then we can go for like a window kind of thing over here. There's like a little window. That's kind of nice, you know. You get the idea of it being like a little check, I guess. However, there's also a flat roof option, but this goes way too much into like the piratey thing. I want to do a piratey build out of this one, so that's going to be definitely something that looks cool. However, not for now. I'm just going to plop a little thing in here as this could be really cool for like the entrance. Let's raise that up so as if there's like a little bit of an idea for like where the entrance goes. Almost like a, you can then copy that and yeah, it goes lower a little. As if there's like a little staircase. And then we edit that to be thinner. Here we go. And then just move that here. And copy another one in. Actually, you know what? We can move that a little higher. And a little bit more here. There you have it. It's almost like a little stair leading up to that little bit. I think that's fine. So yeah, that's just basically all you have about building. But if we switch quickly over to the material, we could then go and say, okay, this is floor, but we could have, this is the fabric. We don't need fabric, but walls. You know, going into walls, and you can see this is how we painted this lower thing over here. It just kind of changes the appeal of that one. However, if we create a new one, and we collect this one, now I set this whole block to be the new one, we can now kind of mingle around here with these kind of things and just go bluish walls, and then you will see that certain things will change. Now this is a roof and we don't have roof in here, but if I go specifically into the door now, you can see I can also color the door and the window frames. So I want to go for like a blue over here. This is nice, and the same goes for the walls. Like this is not walls per se, but this is like the timber frames, you know, there you have the timber frames. I think this one is nice. And then we do have the wall set that can be changed into a lot of different things. You know, there's like a bit of stuff here. I'm wondering what else. I would have loved to just have wood, you know. Is there like any kind of wood in here? I think there isn't, but like... yeah, I think something... that's like a very nice brick texture. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one, I guess. So there's like a, it's like a little bit of this. I think it's fine. And then you can also go back in, and there's a whole bunch of decoration kind of stuff, which, as always, we will be able to use the good old Planko method in, you know, in syncing in stuff where you need it. So, for example, you got, let's say that one, and we actually, can we use that? I think we can use that. If you feel like this is a cool piece that you want to use for something else, you can just plop it down as always, and then move it down a little, and then move it into a place where you think it would fit. You know, in this specific case, it doesn't make any sense, but you could have this like a side thing over here. It doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't really look good. But you can use these things as always to kind of, yeah, create certain elements, certain details in your build. So for example, that toilet building over here, we could easily use, to create a little bit of detail here. So on the wall, and then we move it up, so you get like a nice little thing on the lower hand of your roof. So I'm not sure if it looks good enough, but you can do it this way and then move it up, so you have like a bit of a support for your roof, right? And then you could even copy this and yeah, put it on the same location if you fancy doing so. But again, there is a lot more other stuff. You can kind of create your own railing if you wanted to. So for example, that one would go nicely if we put that as a low rail here. Very cute indeed. And then we could use that one as like I quite like that because it has this beach vibes over here going on. So you can have that like here. Obviously, rotation can be totally free up. Actually, not totally, but it can be free going down to like 22.5, 15 degrees the lowest. Welcome back to Planko, I should say. There's also different wall types. As you can see, if you click down, there are different styles sometimes available. Here you got different styles as well. Same goes here, always like a broken version of this as well. We got some hanging stuff, you know, you can have some flowers in here if you want to. You do have certain things like these in here as well that function as like a nice little thing hanging up here. Also can be, it can actually already be like a bit of a beat check. Look at that. We can move this really into position. I think this is fine. This would be really fitting because of this being like a beach shack. That would really work, you know. You could also have this one hanging on the wall if you need it. Also like attaches very nicely to where you put it, so you can even have it like this. I'm wondering though if I could rotate this also, or is it just straight? It seems like it is. Find. Oh, well, this is in here. So I can click on it and find it in the menu. That's kind of funny. So you can even have like a door handle to open the door, I am assuming. There's like also custom window panels you can put on. Well, I would love to see them being able to be scaled. Absolutely. Obviously chimneys. So chimneys are the most important thing. Other kind of weird wooden... Oh, what is this even? This looks almost like a boat. Can we... Hold on. Hold on. Like, if there is not a boat in here, we can technically create one, right? Out of this wonderful piece. There's like a barrel. Oh no, it's a drum kind of thing. Okay, there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Look at that, fruits. There definitely would be fruits over here. Oh my god, the focus of the camera. Ooh, hold on. Can I focus on the fruits? Come on, do focus. Ah, there you have it. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. There's like a little pot we could also have here for like doing stuff. There's some rocks over here as well. Oh, look at that. The wreck over here is definitely something they would have on the beach like that. Looks like a bit of a survival theme. There's a camera. Oh, look at that. There is even a boat. I don't even need to create this as a fake, as a fake boat. So let's just rotate this little and just bring this one as another kind of thing. You know, technically I need to drag it so there's no... Yeah, I think that's fine. What's that? Is that like a... whatever this is that like a pile of... you know what it is? Okay, so this is just that. Okay, so I think this would still look good as I used it here for some rock kind of... I actually like this. It looks a little bit rocky, even though I think it should be something else. It could also act like a fun little coral piece, right? Ah, I can't sink it any lower than this. Dang it. Okay, well, would have looked nice. But yeah, same technique as always. You can sink these things in to create other little things. You also have some animals. There's like a cat. There's a pig. Do we have anything that would fit our island vibe? Over here is an elk, a moose. Actually, chicken. Chicken always work fine on islands as well. You're gonna plop here on the... also butterflies. That is definitely something we would need. Ooh, this is so cool. Oh, we can have fish. Lovely. All type of fish in here. Or is that not... like, don't tell me it is too shallow for them. Hold on. That would be a pain if this is too shallow. Mackerel, bream. Huh. I have the feeling that this is too shallow for them to be put in here. But we'll... oh wait, no, hold on. There's one swimming, right? I saw something swimming. Yeah, whatever. We will see about that. Then we have got nature, and this one is a bit of a tricky one, simply because we don't have any kind of palm trees and stuff. This is where I needed to wrap my head around somehow. We could go for like these trees. They still look decent enough, you know. There's some flowers and bushes as well where we could actually go for a bit more beach vibe. That would definitely fit, you know. We can have that, like these vines over here hanging, but I'm not sure if they would. So we can pop something here to the side. We've got some driftwood that works fine as fake driftwood. You can place it in here, and that just functioning. It's just very nicely functioning as is. But it's nothing like I would technically use for all these things. I try to survive with these. Is that like corn? Water stalk. Okay, so that one is that's definitely like a water plant. I think the water itself is like way too shallow for what I went for it here. And then you have different type of rocks that you can place in, most of which are a little bit too big for my taste. So scaling is definitely the one function I'd really love in this game. But yeah, so there's a lot to do. There's a lot of greatness in this game that you can leverage. And I'm willing to just showcase one more thing, which is you can have a different lightning scene here. Look at that, the passage. What else do we have over here? This is the golden hour on a subway. Oh my god, that looks so good. And then you can have the port, which is interesting. That is the sunrise. Oh my god, this looks so freaking fantastic. Damn! And then you can obviously change virtually anything about this. You can even change the direction of the sun. So, look at that. Lighting angle can be adjusted. Ooh, where's it gone? Come on over here. Ooh, there we have it. It's so good. And then again, you can switch through all the different types of scene. Night theme. That's a port. I'm not sure what port even means. Yeah. Forest, what else? Gorge, there we have white room, apartment, industrial. Passage is kind of interesting. This one, subway, is crazy. beach. Beach is interesting though. And then you can have a vignette, you can have the exposure turn up and down, you can create grain, you can create light by the interior illumination, which is kind of nice as well. Then you have the contrast, you can increase the contrast, you can increase the temperature if you want to make it more beachy. You can have a bit of a distortion effect here from the lens. That is just like everything in here is just so beautiful. And then you can create also different type of background colorations. You know, you can make that beach vibey. You can have different type of backgrounds. It's like the upper one and the lower one. You can even go for like crazy colors, and it's so damn beautiful. I must admit, it is really beautiful. And then you can also have like a different type of lower color as well. Yeah, I'm like beyond impressed by what this game offers, and you can literally build so many nice things. I'm wondering which one we are going for like a thumbnail as well. But damn. Sunset is also pretty interesting. So you can apparently use that as well. Look at the beauty of it. So, but which one I'm going for? It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell because there are so many beautiful ones. I guess I go with sunrise though. And why did it change the color so much? Wait, hold on. Is it because of it? Or is it? Wait, did I use another one beforehand? It could be some. I'm like a bit confused to why is the color so? Okay, but this is not the color I went for. So let's have a look. Which one was the one I was going for? I think I'm gonna go for the beach. Beach scene is okay. So let's increase this one, and then where's my lighting gone? Here goes that, and then we can create more brightness. Yeah, I think this is fairly okay. And now you can set the scene, which is so crazy as well. You can now have 4:5 and whatever, you know, 16:10 to whatever. Then you can create the focus distance if you want to. You can make the field of view nicer, which is obviously something we do. And then the depth of field intensity is also something interesting. And then you can go to the capture mode and just capture a photo of what you want to do. So there's also randomized weather profile. Interesting. Roll the dice. What else do we have in here? I mean, we can actually change the weather if we wanted to. So you can go for rain or even snow on that beachy island, and then just change kind of the wind, for example, which doesn't really do much. Oh, look at this. That's so cool. And then you can create like a photo in this one. Anyhow, guys, this is that. Oh, wait, we can also, at this point, we could put our little glass material on top of it. Oh my god, the rainbow one. Yeah, but that blue material is kind of nice. And then we have our little wonderful scene done. I mean, we can actually try to create one where I can put like the thumbnail in. This is fancy. This is really fancy. Oh, I should have not taken that shortcut. Okay, so this is that, and then you take the screenshot. I'm not even sure where it's going to be saved, but I can also zoom out a little and then use that one later on. Whatever. Guys, this has been it. It's a blast. I've been recording for way longer than I thought it was. But anyways, it's so much fun, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's just about $10 on Steam if you want to check it out, and you can just spend some time enjoying this. And it's constantly being updated. There will be some more scenes coming, some more beach scenes for sure. So yeah, figure it out, test it out if you want to, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to support me directly, as always, you can purchase games from Instant Gaming, link is in the description, or just become a member on the channel. So that's that. Have a good one, and bye.